So, g'day, welcome back to my channel. So, we are talking about Trump winning, but this channel is about Australia, so we're not really going to talk about that. So, but why would someone like Trump actually win? Well, basically, he's promising stuff he is never going to deliver because he's never delivered anything in his life. People believe him because they want someone to trust. The opposition, well, obviously, they're burnt out. You can't trust them. And that's the same in Australia. Because everything comes down to money. So, basically, the ALP, they could be in a bit of strife because the economy is going downhill. And when the economy is going downhill, well, it's going to affect the way people vote. They're going to get angry. And you're probably saying, yeah, but they're going to use racism. No, racism is part of the economic effect. When the economy is good, racism factor doesn't really factor into people's votes. But when the economy gets bad, people want to blame something. And a lot of those people blame Abbott immigrants. And that's just the racism effect. And they also blame other things like you got the middle class will blame the poor, and the rich will probably try and blame everyone, especially the poor, and use them as a scapegoat and get the middle class to go against them. So basically, that's just the way the circle goes. But you know, everyone is pissed off at the corporates who have infiltrated both Labor and Liberal, and basically they're the guys that run the show, especially the banks and the mining companies. They all run Australia. That's just the way the world is now. It's practically the same in every country. So you're talking about the cost of living. Well, I'm in Hong Kong as I'm actually making this video. The houses here are the most expensive in the world. Also, small. They're quite small. The cost of food is actually not as bad. So the government actually subsidises a lot of things. So electricity. They do subsidise a lot of rent for the poor, and they also have a lot of social housing. So that's why here we don't have such an anti-government established. There were protests that was over law. COVID actually stopped that. But because the government has put in lots of incentives to actually help people, which Australia doesn't do, our social housing sucks. Because they've pretty much privatised a lot of them. They stopped building, and that's why. And you got the private sector, which is trying to build a lot of houses, but they're only going to build so much because they're quite happy for the house prices to actually go up sky high. They're raking in a lot of money. So basically, they're not going to do anything about it. You need the government to actually build social housing to get the lowest income people out of private renting, put them in government housing. They're in there. And then you got less people in private renting, which actually free up a lot more rent to places and reduce rents. So that's basically it. So basically, yeah, the United States election was pretty much about the economy. A lot of people were struggling, so they wanted someone else to vote for. They've destroyed the Republican Party, so all the older Republicans are out. They're no longer trusted, and they've got the newer ones, the Trumpites. They are in, which are promising other stuff, but really the only thing that Trump done last time was give massive tax cuts to the rich. That's all. That's basically it. And he's going to do the same again. He's going to reduce the taxes for the rich, and that just helps him out. It's basically it. The life of the average person is just going to get worse, and that's where we come to Australia. Because Labor is in, they have imported about 1 million people, immigrants. Now, I don't blame the immigrants myself, but that has caused a shortage of rental places. Made rentals go sky high, and for the last 20 years, house prices have been shooting through the roof, which makes actual buying a house way too much. So people are actually struggling. So as the economy gets worse, people are going to blame Labor because they're in power, and because Labor isn't really doing that much. They're trying to do some stuff, but they're not doing, like they got incentives to buy a house and all that, but they're not doing the right stuff. They need to put more money in social housing. They need to reduce immigration. Not stop immigration, because we do need those new immigrants in, because our birth rate's 1.95. So basically, we don't. If we stopped all immigration, our population would decrease. So for you boomers and Generation X, that would be bad for your retirement, because there will be no one to actually pay for your pension, because most boomers, Gen X, probably don't have enough for retirement. You'd have to sell your house. If you sell your house, where are you going to live? In a nursing home? Bloody hell, I don't know. So, I reckon the best way to actually ruin an election is to focus on taxing the rich. Now, you're probably saying, oh, tax the rich, they just increase the prices. You don't actually tax their wages, you tax their assets. So, they own 10 houses, put an extra tax on those houses. They own mines, they own buildings, stuff like that. That's what you tax. Now, then you need to implement laws that say that they can only increase the prices a certain amount. So, we need to actually talk about this on how to tax the assets of the rich. Now you say, the rich will go immigrate overseas. Yeah, well, they can immigrate overseas. They can't take a mine with them. The mine's here. The mine is here. Now, industry, well, obviously, manufacturing and that, we need to actually subsidise that. Like we subsidise all electricity, water, all those utilities we subsidise. The roads, well, that's taxpayers. Taxpayers pay for roads, so we're paying for roads. So basically, we subsidise health, and that's where Americanised is coming in. Now the Liberals, they're going to promise all this stuff, but they're pretty much corporate, so they're not going to do anything to help. What they'll do, they'll promise all this stuff and then they won't deliver, like normal. Because their main side of politics is to help the rich get richer. That's all the Liberals do. Their past history indicates. I'm still waiting for a reduction in my, was it electricity or something? Yeah, from about 10 years ago. Bloody oath. Anyway, hope this doesn't help you at all, because, it's better than the medieval times in which a third of people actually got murdered. Thank you.